So, just watched the Welcome to Glasgow BBC documentary. Now, before we get into it, I want to preface this by saying that these are all my opinions, my experiences of what has happened since I have moved to the town centre of Glasgow, the city centre. I am currently 5 minutes away from the dispersal zone, so I would like to think I have a good knowledge of what goes in and around the city centre of Glasgow. I'm going to not try and bring up any of the facts and figures that were brought up during the documentary because I don't know them. There's a lot of kind of misinformation out there, so I'm just not going to comment on them. I'm mainly going to give my reaction to the documentary and my experience of living in Glasgow. So the documentary straight up shows Glasgow in a very, very negative way. And my experience of Glasgow when this was filmed was very positive. And I will get to when it wasn't so positive, because there was one experience where I genuinely, for the first time in my city, felt fear and felt like, what is going on? So I've been living in Glasgow city centre since January, and there has been the introduction of the dispersal zone in and around St Enoch Centre kind of place, which, yes, it is a sketchy part of town. It's my experience walking through there. You see a lot of different people there from many different backgrounds hanging around there, and trouble can be caused. You saw it on the documentary. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen shouting matches. I've seen a few fights between two white people, between two Asian people. Like, I'm just giving you my experience. So that part of town, yep, definitely. Is it as bad as that? In my experience, no. Like, I think I could walk there at any point and feel relatively safe. Now, on a Friday and Saturday night, I have not been down that part of town, so I cannot comment on that. Obviously, from the footage, it looks like it can be quite a tough part to kind of be around. The documentary really, I don't think anyone comes out of this looking good. I don't think the police look good. I don't think the filmmakers look good. I don't think the council look good at all, because they don't even comment on it. I don't think the people who are claiming to be protecting the streets come out looking good at all. So my big question is, what is the purpose of this? Because you filmed a week in Glasgow where my experience of being a Glaswegian was very positive, apart from that one incident, which I'm going to get to. Because we had the World Cup on, we had, like, I can't tell you how many people I saw while walking around the city centre with a Scotland top on, with a big smile on their face because of the World Cup. And there was obviously the immigration protest. So now we get into the one incident where there was some fear. So I had just been to the gym, was cycling along the Clyde as I would usually do on my way home, and I come out underneath, that's shown in this film, there's like a walkway that goes like right underneath a bridge. You're very close. Cycle along that, and I come across hundreds of people dressed in black with masks on their face. Now, instantly, I stop my bike and I am like, what the fuck is going on? and I couldn't get out there quickly enough. They were coming. They were like maybe 20 meters away at this point. There was a guy who had a balaclava on. I was like, "What is going on?" And he was like, "Oh, don't worry, mate. You don't need to worry." Now looking back on it, I didn't have to worry because I was white. That's a horrendous thing to say to someone. Like, it's just did not make me feel safe in my own city, and it was the immigration protesters who made me feel like that. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Glasgow is a perfect city. No city is perfect. Glasgow has its problems, and I think the police do need to do more around that area to curb antisocial behaviour. I don't think enough has been done. But to portray Glasgow as the cesspit over a week, I think is just such a poor portrayal of the city. Glasgow this summer has been a fantastic place to be. I've lived it. Between the World Cup, between people out in the street celebrating their country, being a part of the World Cup, spilling out onto the street after the Haiti game will live long in the memory. 4 a.m, everybody on the street singing away. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You then had the Commonwealth Games, a huge success for Glasgow, showcased the city as vibrant, as energetic, and as a great place to be. And for this documentary to come along and portray it in such a way that there's none of that mentioned, none of that mentioned whatsoever, it pissed me off. Because, yeah, as I say, Glasgow has its problems, but it is not that bad. My God, they did not show any sort of positive vibes. Any sort of. And I'm just sitting there going, have I? Have I been just, walking past this stuff and not seeing it? No, because it's there, but it's not that bad. I had such a good feeling about Glasgow this summer, and I still do. Now, what can be done? Because I think that's a key point. First off, the council, for not getting involved in this, I think is ridiculous. You've got to stick up for your city. You've got to stick up for yourselves. If you feel like this documentary has been made in a way that is showing you in a negative light, you've got to send someone out there and be like, no, this is what we're doing to curb that. Very poor on them for not even to be involved in this documentary, or to refuse to comment or send a statement. It was at the end. I can't remember what they done, but they sent out a statement, and I think that's just a poor way to handle it. I think they should add someone on there to really showcase what they're doing for the city, because Glasgow is very much in a rebuild. Like there's a lot going on in Glasgow at the minute, and not gonna lie, with the Commonwealth Games on, I was like, is it going to be received that well? But the people that I've spoken to, the media that's been shown online, yeah, Glasgow done well. It done great, despite all the road works, despite all the building works, despite George Square being closed down, one of the key social spots in Glasgow. Yeah, I'm very disappointed with the documentary for how it portrayed Glasgow. Now, again, I'm not saying that Glasgow doesn't have problems. It clearly does. However, for you to represent Glasgow in such a way where there is an issue right throughout the city when there's clearly not. Like, those areas, yeah, they need to be dealt with. But you briefly mention the World Cup. You didn't mention the Commonwealth Games, about how well they were received. I feel it is very much portraying a narrative that, if we're going to get political, could fuel some fires, shall we say. Fuel some fires for people to be like, oh, look at Glasgow, look at how terrible a place is because of immigration. when it's not. Glasgow is a multicultural city. I love that about Glasgow. I love it. I think it's one of the key aspects of our city and what makes it so unique. I think the documentary makers, the filmmakers, the BBC, need to do another one. And they need to come back and actually showcase the other side of Glasgow. Because it is damaging. It's honestly damaging to the city. Like, to portray it in such a way where it looks lawless, looks like a cesspit, is not on. My experience this summer has been very different. Very different. I have no issue walking around the city, apart from that one time where there was hundreds of masked men in my way. And can we talk about these people? I wanted to make a video about Glasgow anyway, and how I feel it's been treated in the media. And this just happened to fall into a time where I hadn't made the video yet, so it's actually quite a good jumping off point. The people who claim to be protectors of the city, yeah, I don't feel safe with you claiming to be. I don't think you are, you don't represent Glasgow. You don't represent the values we have. You don't represent the moral compasses we have. You claim you're protecting women and children. I don't think you are. You're just saying that so you sound more noble. And Glasgow is a city that will not accept you. If that is your views, Glasgow is a city that will not accept you. So yeah, I'm going to try end it on a positive note, because I think the way I've had such a good time living in the city centre of Glasgow, and if you'd have told me that a year ago, where I didn't think I'd like city centre living, I would have been like, nah, not a chance. I have loved living in the city. Living in the centre of Glasgow has been such a positive experience for me. Now, I've seen negative things, just like I would in any city. I thoroughly believe that Glasgow is a place where people want to come, should come. It has so much to offer. It is a city that has a unique energy to it. No other city that I've been to has the Glasgow energy. There's always a buzz in the city. More so with what we've had over the summer, the World Cup, Commonwealth Games, all the concerts we've had. We've had Calvin Harris, we had bloody Metallica. Like, just a unique group of events that have brought people to Glasgow, and it's been great. It's been such a great summer for Glasgow, and this documentary tries to portray that it's not. I dispute that as a Glaswegian. I dispute that as someone who has lived in this city for the past 6 months, and I acknowledge it has its problems, like I've done, but what city doesn't? Now, that's not an excuse. Clearly more has to be done to curb antisocial behaviour, and I hope that the police or the council take steps to do that. But to portray it in this manner of negativity is just downright disrespectful to Glasgow. It is not that. It is not that. It is, Glasgow is an amazing place. And I'm done. I'm done with my rebuttal to the documentary. Let me know what you think. I mean, I love Glasgow. Like, I've kind of went to bat for it here. And let me know what you think of the documentary. Do you agree with it? If so, why? Open to discussion about it. I understand I've talked a lot about my experience. If that's not your experience, then let's discuss that. But keep it civil. Alright, let's keep it civil. And with all that being said, all I have to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.